how are you all? I hope you're doing well. So there is a recall Newsom update. Someone new has entered the race, and that is Larry Elder, the conservative talk show radio host, one of my favorite commentators to listen to. I follow him on social media. So I'm going to tell you all about that and why he is running in the race, and that's going to be last. But first, I'll give you a little update. You might have heard this from me before about how the recall actually works. And another high-profile person who is running for governor is Caitlyn Jenner. And if you've followed this channel for a second, you know that at first I was open-minded about Caitlyn. And what's interesting, the more I make these videos, the more I sort of grow as a person and just as someone who is interested in the political sphere, and you're kind of growing with me. And one of the things I grew out of was Caitlyn Jenner, and I'll tell you about that after, and then we'll get to Larry Elder and why I absolutely think that Caitlyn is completely dangerous for California and running. But anywho, so the recall election, this is how it's gonna work. So I believe the date was set. It was set up to September 14th or 15th. So there is going to be a recall election that people can go and vote. And of course, just like any election, not everyone has to go and vote, but the ones that are interested in voting, those are the votes that are going to count. So on the ballot, it's going to say, do you want to recall Gavin Newsom? Yes or no? So if he gets over 50% yeses, he's out. He's finished. It doesn't matter who else is running. They don't have to beat him. He's done. So then you will have a list of candidates. There may or may not be a Democrat on the ballot, but there are for sure going to be a ton of Republicans. And there could be 100 Republicans running. Whoever gets the most votes, even if it's 20% of the votes, they win. They are the next governor of California. So it doesn't matter how many people are running. They're not going to water down the ticket against Gavin Newsom, because that first question determines whether Gavin Newsom is in or out. And so that actually makes his chance of getting recalled pretty likely, because if you think about it, remember, not everyone has to go out and vote. And yes, he does still have a lot of support in California, but the people that are probably more likely to go out and vote are the people that are very angry at him, because anger motivates you to do things. So those are going to be, in my opinion, I don't know, but just thinking common sense wise, I would think those are the people that would be more likely to go out and vote. So that's why he is scared. And okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Caitlyn Jenner. So I came out sort of open-minded about Caitlyn Jenner a while ago. I'm like, maybe this will be interesting, but the more I think about her, the more I looked into, I absolutely do not support Caitlyn Jenner. And I'll tell you there's a lot of reasons why, but I'll tell you the main reasons why. Number one, we have some very progressive policies in California that are absolutely ruining our state. Whether it's we haven't built dams in 40 years, that's why we have droughts. There's no forest management. All of this is because of activists. They don't want these things built. They don't want forest management. Our homeless situation is out of control because of super progressive policies. And now, even more than anything, well, not to mention, a lot of people are doing this because of our lockdowns. We had super draconian lockdown orders that really hurt a lot of people. And that's actually what is causing Larry Elder to run, which we'll get into in a second. But also, something I've been really passionate about recently is this basically war on women and women's rights in California that's happening right now. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm going to be dramatic because people need to understand what's happening in California, whether it's our gender identity laws or whether it's SB 132 or several other things that are happening in California. And we need someone that is going to be strong against those things, because women's rights are in trouble. I do believe there is a war on women in California. I'm not saying it's intentional. Who knows? I don't know. But it's happening. And it's happening because of the radical transgender agenda. That's why it's happening. I want you to look at this interview that Caitlyn did with Tucker a few years ago. Watch.
Because my loyalties do not lie with Donald Trump. My loyalties do not lie with the Republican Party. Right. My loyalties and what I'm fighting for is my community, the LGBT community, and particularly the trans issues that are out there, because there are many of them. And so that's where my fight is. And
so Caitlyn, bye-bye. Get out of here. And the thing is, Caitlyn goes back and forth. There was an interview with Caitlyn when Caitlyn said, I don't support women. I don't support biological males competing in women's sports. We have to protect women's sports. But Caitlyn also accepted the ESPY award for Woman of the Year. This person is confused, and I think that this person is going to say whatever they need to say to appease whatever group they need to appease. And it's clear in that Tucker Carlson where the agenda lies, and I do not support that. You are equal for all people, not any special group. And the problem with California right now is that we are putting one group ahead of another group, and this is completely stamping on women's rights. So anyway, that's why I no longer support Caitlyn. Let's talk about Larry Elder. So Larry Elder announced, was it Monday? I think it was Monday. Larry Elder announced Monday that he is going to be running for governor in the recall election. So he is a new person on the ticket. I'll have to look more into him. I don't know if, that's someone I support. I've always told you I like to research people before I fully support anyone, before I fully vote for any candidate. But Larry is someone that I've been a fan of for a long time. And it's really just a few months ago, I think, and Dennis even asked, would you consider running for California governor? And he said, hell no. But he has since changed his mind. And he said one of the things that changed his mind are the lockdown orders that we have had in California. And apparently he spoke to a mother of a 17-year-old wrestler in California. And the mother said, my son used to go out and wrestle and thought that he was going to be able to do it again. And they kept moving the goalpost. And I've just watched my son, this vibrant, young, active person just get really lonely and really depressed and anxious during this whole thing. So Larry Elder was like, you know what? This is pushing me to want to make a change in California and work for the people of California. So he decided to announce that he's running. Hi. I wanted to tell you, I just saw this a little bit more about what Larry Elder said about running. So he wants to combat the homelessness, combat the rhetoric that we are a systemically racist society. He also talked about the release of prisoners. So I don't know if you know, but during COVID, we released 20,000 prisoners because of COVID restrictions. And we are actually set to release 76,000 more prisoners, even though our crime rates in cities like San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco are increasing like crazy. We're releasing even more prisoners. So sorry, I interrupted myself again. I just wanted to give you that update as well as to why Larry Elder is running. So that's just the quick update. I don't have a lot more other than that, but Larry Elder is now in the race, and Caitlyn is... Major Williams is also someone I do not support anymore. I am very suspicious about him. I actually looked into his campaign spending a little bit, and what I liked about him was he was sort of a grassroots kind of guy. He would go to all these events, really meet the people. It seemed like he was really genuine. But there's a lot of iffy things about him too, and a lot of iffy things about his spending. He had a lot of staff members recently quit, a lot of people that were helping on his campaign. He doesn't go to any of these big events, so it doesn't seem like he really wants to win. But you can go on the Secretary of State and see how many campaign donations people have gotten, who's donated, and how they spent it. Well, I think in one year he earned something like, and you can look all of this up. This is all public, so don't just take it from me. But he raised like $300,000, and then he was going and staying at, I think, the Ritz-Carlton or something for like $600 a night. He spent thousands of dollars at this place called the Lido for meetings. I think like up to $15,000 there. He's just spending like limo services and stuff. And I mean, maybe you could justify it, but it just seemed like for a grassroots campaign, for someone that doesn't get a lot of media attention, that needs more media attention, or so I thought, it just seems like his priorities are off and his spending is off. And one of the main problems with California, among other things, is that our priorities are off and our spending is off. Plus, there's a lot of discrepancies with his past, so he's someone that I do not support anymore either. But that's just what's on my mind and updates for the Gavin recall happenings. But I never tell people, if you're someone from California, I never tell people who to support. Go and do your own research. These are just my opinions and what I see. But anyway, that's it, you all. So I hope you have a fabulous, lovely day, and I'll see you later. Bye.